Hi, I'm Patricia Haines-Ainsworth with the Bell Agency. I want to tell you the story about when I was in 8th grade and my mother took care of me when I was very ill. I'd had the flu twice that January, and it was Pennsylvania, so it was about 5 degrees below zero and snowy. And I went over to a friend's house when I started feeling better, not knowing that both my friend's sister and her mom had strep throat. Well, sure enough, about a week later, I also got strep throat and was very sick. I had 104 temperature and my throat was pretty much swollen shut. And my mom was giving me Ovaltine and Jello and anything I could possibly get down my throat. She wanted to take me to the doctor, but my doctor was sick in the hospital with cancer, so she couldn't. And the doctor that was taking my doctor's place and seeing her patients was so busy he couldn't make any house calls, and my mother wasn't about to take me out in 104 temperature with 5 below weather. So it went day after day after day, and I just got worse and worse. So finally my doctor called the lab from her hospital bed and sent out a lovely man from the lab who could swab my throat and take my blood test and make sure I had strep so I could start receiving medication. It worked, sort of. The sore throat went away, but I just didn't get better. I felt extremely exhausted and every joint in my body just ached all night long. My poor mother got up once or twice during the night, every night, to rub my knees and my ankles and my arms with rubbing alcohol to try and get them to stop aching. I just couldn't sleep. So consequently, I was even more tired, and we didn't know what was wrong. So my mother was like a tiger. I mean, she dug in, took me to hospitals, took me for x-rays, took me for blood tests, took me to see chiropractors, anybody she could think of. And because we didn't have insurance, it wasn't an easy thing. She had to find the money somewhere, but she didn't stop. Even after they said, well, you know, she's probably just all psychosomatic, and she wants attention, and your daughter really isn't ill, my mother still persisted. And she wanted to find an answer, because she knew I wouldn't fib about something like that. So finally, she took me to her doctor, who was an old country doctor, Dr. Barr. I'll never forget him. He was about 70 plus years old. And he just and looked at me and he said, you know what? He said, I bet this is a lymphatic infection. So basically, he thought because of the strep throat that all my lymph glands were infected. And since lymph glands are near your joints, then it made sense. So my mother got another prescription from the doctor for a low dose of antibiotics that I took for almost a year. And I finally started feeling more like myself again. I could play sports and get out and get back to school. Without my mother's persistence, I don't know what would have happened. She really, really, really was like a mama bear and took care of me, made sure she solved the problem, no matter what. I'll always be grateful to her for that.